My name is Mikki Mace. I am one of the biggest gamblers in Las Vegas history. By age 29, I was one of Las Vegas's biggest winners of all time, and I was up tens of millions of dollars.
I was winning so much that the whole city was out to get me.
I was born in Jersey. I come from like a really long line of high-stakes gamblers. Family time kind of consisted of going to the New York City card room and just sort of hanging out. My grandparents would go to Atlantic City every week. They would take me and sometimes my younger brother, and we'd always get thrown out from the casinos for being underage. And my grandparents got really tired of cutting their trips short. So they went and bought fake identities for my brother and I so we can pass in the casinos. Growing up, there's a lot of crime that seemed really interesting to me. That lifestyle got a real grasp on me. And I found myself in a lot of trouble. I was incarcerated often. I had run-ins with the law. When I was in my early 20s, I was just tired of the incarceration. I was tired of the problematic lifestyle, and I decided to try to change my life. I was just so tired of being a loser. I was so tired of ends not meeting. I was so tired of having to hustle constantly and like always be worried about where I'm gonna sleep and how I'm gonna eat. And all my friends from high school were doing well, and here I am like in and out of incarceration and homelessness, and I was just so tired of it that I wanted to try something different. And my mother flew me to South Florida, where an old friend from New York was living, and he was an old gang affiliate and criminal, and he was doing really well, and he had started a business that was a success. And he said to her that he's willing to make me his problem. And he put me up in his house, and then he encouraged me to start taking some self-help groups and courses and what have you, where I can really work on some of the things I struggled with internally and why I keep making decisions that are negatively affecting my life. And I did all of this, and I continued working. And then I got a job as a day laborer, making $100 a day. And I did this for quite some time until my boss had taken a contract at a sober living company. We were rehabbing their buildings. When we had finished rehabbing their buildings, we completed the contract, and I was out of work. That sober living company came to me and said, "We see you're bettering your life, and you're now out of work. Do you want to work with us?" And I said, "Yeah, I need a job. I don't know what you guys do." They said, "If you work just half as hard as you did in construction, inside you'll be fine." And I engaged in a lot of like business development, and slowly I grew and I got some promotions. I started a business. One thing led to another, and I ended up selling my companies. I moved to Los Angeles, and when I moved to Los Angeles, Vegas is only a 45-minute flight away, so I couldn't help it. I would go to Vegas once a week and just party. While I was partying, I'd gamble some, and I started winning, and winning a lot. I was about to party so hard that I was gonna bring Vegas to its knees. I was exclusively a blackjack player, and I liked to play the largest stakes I could, but they would never let me bet enough. And one of my buddies played blackjack and baccarat, and I was unfamiliar with baccarat. And he said to me, he goes, "Just so you know, you can always bet twice the bet sizing in baccarat that you're permitted to in blackjack. It's standard policy in all casinos in the world." That's all he needed to tell me, is that I can bet more. Baccarat is a card game. Before the cards come out, you make a bet. The main bet is either player or banker. After the cards are dealt, there'll be 2 for player, 2 for banker. And when you add them together, closest to 9 wins. It also is the best odds in any casino. The odds are 50-50. The odds are so good that on half of your bets, you owe a 5% commission back to the house. The only way to win big is to bet big. And when I gamble, I want to play as big as I can, as fast as I can, as hard as I can. I want to bet the biggest limits they'll let me. The number one advice I have for anybody who wants to gamble successfully is they need to have somebody sit with them that's not gambling. And this person needs to know you really well so they can keep an eye on you. When you're losing, they need to help you walk away from the table, and they have to hold you accountable so you don't lose while you're in the wrong state of mind. And the same goes for when you're winning. A lot of times what happens is somebody will go into a casino and win, and they don't know how to walk away, and they end up losing everything. In the beginning, I was probably Las Vegas's favorite player. If I asked for the mayor to come shake my hand, he probably would have left his anniversary dinner to come meet me. I have met every CEO, CFO, president, every business owner. I've met everybody, and they wanted to keep me around because they were hoping I was gonna give them all my money. They gave me a private jet, they gave me a Maybach, and they gave me a Rolls Royce. They gave me chauffeurs, they gave me pilots. They gave me a dancing monkey that served champagne for one of my parties. It was luxury and elite, and it was like the highest end amenities in the world. And I was young, and I was partying like a rock star, and the girls were everywhere, the money was flowing. There's secret villas in all of the casinos in Las Vegas, and I lived in those villas for free. I was racking up a $100,000 bill every day, and they were picking up the tab. I used to use private jets like Ubers. I threw a party one time, and what I wanted to wear, I was like, oh, I really want this one hat. And I was like, oh, I left the hat home in LA. So I took the jet to LA to grab the hat, got back in the jet, and went back to my party. I don't think most people will ever even know that that way of life exists, and Vegas offered it to me on a silver platter. Baccarat is a game of luck. I have formulated an algorithm that helps to not just decrease the variance in it, but more specifically decrease the house edge and increase the player's edge. I have found a way to beat Baccarat. Casinos don't like that. They don't understand exactly what my algorithm is, and they're having a lot of trouble stopping it, which is how I've won the tens of millions.
What is this algorithm you're using?
Let me think. I don't think I can answer that question because part of that answer I'm selling for $50 million.
Okay, well, I definitely don't want to impoverish you for $50 million.
Me against the casinos is absolutely a war. As a matter of fact, everybody's in this war, whether they realize it or not. Las Vegas wasn't built on winners, and they've became the top professionals in the world at making sure you lose. There are countries around the world that hired Las Vegas casino security to run their national security. So that's how far advanced the security systems and companies that run these Las Vegas casinos are. And they had tried everything to stop me from winning. A lot of the casinos had felt early on that I was a liability. The casino set me up where I can lose not just my money, but I can lose my life. Casinos would do anything to like throw me off my game. They took away the jet, they took away the cars, they took away the butlers. They would not give me rooms anymore. They would manipulate my room service. They would block my cell signal. They've done things as arbitrary and silly as that, all the way to set me up to get robbed for money. I was in Vegas with my buddy Ian. I had a goal that day, and my goal was to win as much as I can, as fast as I can. The problem is the casinos are so smart, way smarter than I'll ever be. Casinos build edges against all their players, and they never speak about it publicly. They don't market it, they don't discuss it, and they'll shut down any conversation about it. So I knew to get in and out as fast as I could, so in the shortest amount of time, how can I bet the most amount of money? We bought in for $500,000 that morning. And as soon as we hit $1 million, as fast as possible, we cashed out, we took the cash, we took the money and went to the next casino. And I took the $1 million to $2 million. There it is, baby! I took that $2 million up to about $3 million. And then I took that $3 million in cash as fast as I could and went over to the next casino. And I remember screaming at the cashier, count it faster, get more staff, get more staff. By the time they counted the $3 million it was at the time, I had already won another $1.5 million, and I had $4.5 million. And I just took it back to the cage and I said, cash me out again. Between 4 casinos, it took us 3 hours. We started with $500K and we left with $4.5 million in cash. All casinos, whether the public knows it or not, they have secret cages that are highly secure. They're private rooms for large transactions. These rooms are also protected by security. $4.5 million weighs a lot. It weighed too much for me to just to carry, and they didn't have any bags. So what we ended up doing was, I had security take the $4.5 million, put it on the bell cart, and push it through the casino to the main valet where Ian had ran, grabbed his beamer, and pulled it to the doors. Security is loading the $4.5 million in cash. It's not hidden, it's not in bags, it's just cash in clear cellophane, like vac seal wrap, but it's $500,000 in $100 bills. So they load the $4.5 million in the back seat. Me and Ian get in, and I look in the rear view, and I see headlights of an SUV turn on. Where this SUV was sitting was not actually an entrance or an exit. It was tucked away in this little cove at the main valet, and no valet driver would let a civilian park their own vehicle there. I was being set up. When I first saw those headlights turn on, I immediately went to worst case scenario. They knew exactly how much cash was in that car. They knew who was in that car. There was really no getting away from what was about to happen. They were coming for my money and possibly my life.